don't visit crane museums. I don't know what cranes sound like. My basis of crane knowledge is on Thomas the Tank Engine. Next question.
Hello and welcome to the 18th episode of the Dlsone Podcast, where cubing is more than just a hobby. It's a party trick. So I'm your host for this episode, Daniel Goodman or DG Cubes, and joining me we have...
Daniel Karnock or Derpy Cuber.
I'm Avocado or #Cuber.
I'm Allison Lee or the Programming Cuber.
And I'm Adam or the Rubik's Cubed.
So we're going to get right into the Q&A. So our first question comes from Jasmine Kong, who is my favorite member of the DK crew. Her question is, best guests y'all had so far?
No, you read it wrong. It's best guess y'all had so far.
True. It is in all caps.
That's good. That was a good rendition.
So best guests. That's a tough one.
I would definitely say DG Cubes for sure. I mean,
Aww.
we've had him on a lot,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I like him.
I really appreciated Ken the Cuber. I really liked it when he went onto the podcast and said hello.
Felix was pretty cool because we had him on twice.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
The episode with Elise was pretty funny. Just because I think we had a lot of outtakes in that episode, just because there's a lot of interesting background noise happening in that episode.
Shredding.
Yeah.
Shredding bodies.
Shredding bodies.
Yeah.
That's
I felt like
pretty
our first two guests were pretty solid too. You know, Chris and Damien.
Yeah,
that
Chris and
pretty
Damien. That was
solid.
really fun. Yeah, and Andrew.
Yeah.
And Andrew was cool too.
Yeah, Andrews is really. Oh, that whole philately thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's the guest who brought the most interesting story.
I
with him.
remember
That's for sure.
I was
Yeah.
watching that video and DG had told me the story before I listened to the podcast. So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, DG is so confused.
See, I had so much trouble believing that too. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch the episode featuring Colorful Pockets.
Also
It was a
subscribe
great
and
episode.
comment and like every one of our videos. Thank you.
And smash that like button.
Going back to the question, all of our guests have been wonderful.
True.
We
Yes.
shouldn't have
Yes.
to choose a guest.
Yes. I'm sorry to all the guests that were not mentioned.
Yeah,
we
you're all
love all of
wonderful.
you.
You will not be
We love
forgotten,
you.
Rami Eder.
Rami Eder.
Oh, Rami's episode was interesting because of the stuff that happened that got cut out, that we had to cut out. But
He had to say sorry to his mom.
Wait, hold on. I have some
Sorry,
specific
Mom, I'll
people
be
I want to
quieter.
mention. I have some specific people I want to mention. So my favorite guests were Rami Cubics and TC
He's
Cubed
gonna list
and
all of
Felix
them.
Mdex and
He's
Junior
on the
Cuber and
website.
Nathan
He's
Wilson
on
and
the
Keaton
channel.
Ellis
He's
and-
listing all of them. Adam, you're a cheapskate.
But honestly, we have so much fun on this podcast, and it doesn't matter who the guest is. Everybody's
I hate this
always fun to
place.
hang out with.
Yeah.
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 I feel like the very concept of having a guest makes it really fun too, because it's like a lot of
Yeah.
times they're people we haven't talked to before, and it's really cool to get to know them. So
yeah, that's really fun. All right, next question. It's from Lock Leo. Do you guys get annoyed when you comment on a video and people reply on your comment saying, "OMG, it's insert name" or something like that?
No.
This happens a lot.
Nah.
It's
I
not like
hate it when
annoying, but
Yeah, it's not annoying.
It's not annoying, but I hate it when people say something negative and then I reply to it and then they're like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry."
Oh yeah.
that is
Yeah.
pretty.
That's
bad.
so ironic. It's like your review sucked and I hated it and I'm like, "Why did you think so?" And he's like, "Wait, hold on, wait. It's you."
They never expect you to reply.
Yeah.
what I hate even more than them trying to be nice to you is when then they try to get something out of you. So one time somebody commented on one of my videos saying "That's fake, you loser" or something stupid like that, and I replied saying I don't know, "Wow, thanks," and they're like, "Also, can you push my channel?" And I asked them what they meant, and they're trying to get a shout out of me after they called me a loser.
No, people do that all the time. They're like, "You're so this video is so cringy," and then I'll reply saying "Yeah, I know, it was a while ago," and they're like, "Oh my god, I really didn't mean it. I'm a huge fan." They're just
I didn't mean it. I swear. Please don't ground
weird.
me.
Just going back to the original question, it's quite the contrary for me. Whenever I see that, I get really happy actually, because it's a realization that wow, somebody is starstruck to speak to. It's confusing, Like, why is somebody
no, I get that, yeah.
No, I like it when it's just like, not ironic. When it's just pure, just that.
Yeah. It's also very nice when somebody's just having a conversation with you, just as a nice person to a nice person.
Yeah, those are also nice.
Constructive.
It's like, wow, I made somebody very happy to know that I talked to them.
For some reason, it annoys other people. Like, it doesn't annoy me when someone goes, OMG, it's blank, but, like, I've seen other people comment on it where they're like, yeah, like, where they respond, or they'll be like, this is the first time I've seen a chain involving, like, you that no one has commented, OMG, it's blank on. Like, I've seen that, which is kind of interesting. Even though, like, the actual person doesn't get annoyed, some, like, other people get annoyed by it.
Yeah. See, you know what I find funny? I've noticed that just because I have a channel, when I comment on, like, one of your guys' videos or, like, on one of my videos, just, like, if I say something, even if it's really stupid, it'll automatically get a bunch of likes.
Oh, that's true.
And it's just because, like, I have a channel.
I remember,
like, if anybody else said that, or if I said it on a private account or something, like, it would just be, like,
It's just because you said
something. It would get no attention. Yeah.
I remember...
It's kind of cool, honestly.
I remember in one of... I don't know, but, like, I forget who commented on which video, but someone, like, either one of us commented on the other's video, DG, and it's just, like, it was complete gibberish. There was there weren't any English words in that sentence. It was just, like, stupid stuff like, globberoo dobberoo, stupid face, or, okay, those are English words, the last two. But it was, my point is, it was stupid and it made 0 sense, and it just got, like, 30 likes.
That's just how the internet works, man. It's just...
see, what I've also noticed is, like, like, Derpy and I have, like, a lot of random things that, like, we say to each other that I guess you could consider, like, inside jokes to a degree. If I comment one of them on one of Derpy's videos, people will be like, ha ha ha, that's so hilarious, I get it, but, like, they don't.
Yeah, he's like, a magician never reviles his Socrates.
Yeah.
And everybody will be like,
my friend
that's
Kyle
really
has
funny.
one of those. Okay,
my friend Kyle has many of those.
Do other than DG and I, do you guys know that inside joke?
Yeah, I made it a meme.
Do you know, like, the origin of it?
Yeah, it was at the fair thing.
Okay, yeah, I'm impressed that you know, actually. I didn't know if you knew, because, like, the point of that was just, like, the statement sounded funny and, like, meme-ish. So, like, DG was like, I'm gonna turn this into a meme, and he posted everywhere, and nobody, even, like, our friends, have any context on it, and it got a little bit of traction. Not very much, but a little bit. Yeah. So, I just thought that was funny that people would use it without knowing where it came from.
Yeah, ooh, could we call this episode My Friend Kyle Has One of Those?
Oh my god.
I mean, he does.
He does.
Okay, so basically, for those uninitiated, my friend Kyle has one of those meme, which I'm putting in air quotes, but you can't see that because it's a podcast. It started at the Maker's Day at a library that Adam and I participated in. Basically, we set up a booth about cubing. Adam posted about it on his Instagram, I think, and basically, we just, a lot of people came. There were booths about all sorts of things, but our cubing one was a really popular one because people liked it. And so there was one kid there, and we had all our cubes on display for people to try out and stuff. So one kid came by, and he picked up Adam's 2x2, and he was, like, turning it and stuff, and he said, my friend Kyle has one of those. And we just, like, it just kind of struck us as funny. I remember Adam's response to that was, my friend Daniel has one of those, referring to me.
Oh my god.
The kid then saw my name tag, which said Daniel, and he proceeded to laugh. And then I said, my friend Adam has one of those, and it's actually that one that you're holding. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing that we both found really funny for some reason. Like, I don't know. It would be like if you go, like, out in public and you see someone walking a dog and you go up to them and you're like, oh, my friend has one of those.
It just flows nicely off the tongue.
Yeah. So whenever you get the opportunity, just my friend Kyle has one of those. It has to be Kyle, by the way. It can't be like
nothing else works. It has to be Kyle. Okay. This question comes from You Don't Know Who I Am, which is very true. For everybody, what algorithm can you execute with the highest TPS?
Oh, what defines an algorithm?
Yeah, technically you can do a U move in a very high amount of TPS.
That's true.
You can do a U move in like 50 TPS if you really try.
Okay, what if you call an algorithm something that moves two faces that affect each other? So, like, UD is not an algorithm because they don't affect each other.
That's a good
But like
definition.
RU would be.
Let's see how fast I can execute RU.
That's gonna be
Oh,
so
RU
hard
is
to
a bad
time.
one, though.
That's gonna be so hard to time though.
This brings up a point that I was thinking of earlier today. So, tell me what you guys think of this. But I was thinking, like, a lot of people ask what are the limits of, like, the 3x3 world record, or, like, any world record. But let's just go with 3x3 for this. So, like, a lot of people say that, and people are like, oh, well, you could get a 2-move scramble, so it's just going to be, like, 0.1 or whatever, you know? But, like, let's assume we're going, like, we're not going to get a lucky scramble like that, because it probably won't happen. But let's assume we get something lucky enough that is reasonable. Like, for example, I think Drew's 3-point something that he uploaded, like, last year. That was, like,
two
21
years
moves or
ago.
something.
That's like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like 21 moves or something like that. So let's say 20 moves just for the sake of argument. And it has to be a human solution. It can't be something that you figure out with like FMC techniques or things like that. So like it would have to be like a legitimate solution that you would be able to see, ideally without pausing, right? Like you'd be able to see it through all of it in inspection. So what do you think is the limit of world records when it comes down to it like that?
First, you have to determine the fastest speed of human TPS, which is the hard part. And then you have to determine the average for, like, around a lucky scramble efficiency.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe determine the average amount of pause time and the average number of pauses in a solve like that. And you could just take data from, like, the fastest WCA solves. And then you can estimate an approximate time.
Okay, but I have a slight issue with that, right? Because, like, this is a world record, so by definition, world records are above average. Because, like, so you can't really get the average. You need to say, like, minimal pauses, like, absolute minimum amount of pauses. And, like, so, you know, like, technically, I was thinking about it. If you had a 4-move F2L pair and an E-perm, that's 20 moves. And that's something that you could see in inspection, right? So, like...
I see what you're
that
saying,
would
but
technically
also
be no
we're
pauses
getting...
if you executed perfectly.
We're getting to the area where human, like, physiology prevents improvement. So I get what you're saying about above average, and that certainly would be the case for TPS. There's areas for us to improve TPS, right? So we would, let's say, find the maximum for TPS, right? If we're finding a theoretical fastest solve ever, then I guess we would eliminate pauses. It would be a one look, right? So that's even easier. Find maximum
It would be
TPS.
by someone who's already fast, so that's already a probability.
Right. Find maximum TPS, and then I guess it would be a 20... it wouldn't be 20. And then determine, like, a plausible area that a WCA scramble would give as far as, like, efficient scrambles, if you know what I'm saying. Like, a plausible, like, lowest number that you could get in a scramble.
Personally, I would say 20 for that.
Yeah, but where's that coming from?
Okay, because if you think about it, right, Drew Brads had that 21-move solution a while ago. So that was insanely lucky, and it doesn't get much luckier than that, but technically it could, right? So I would say a little bit less than that is fair, so, like, we could say around 20, maybe 21, you know?
Okay. I would like to do it, like, I think that would be interesting to pursue it, like, numbers-based. It's not that hard to do that. You can do it. You can make a computer program out of that, DG. You just essentially run a bunch of scrambles and determine, like, the percent frequency of different move efficiencies, and then you can create a distribution and see when the efficiency is basically negligible, and then eliminate that and take the nearest, like, possible scramble number and use that number. That might be interesting. It also is computer intensive.
Now presenting a new segment in the Dlsone Podcast, Loquacious Mathematicians.
All right, so
right.
so thanks for the question. You don't know who I am. That was pretty cool discussion. Now we're going to move on to the physicist Cuber's question, which is actually a lot of questions. So how about we go, like, rapid fire? So Derpy, has anyone here ever tried 6 blind?
Man, I don't know you guys too well enough, but I'm pretty sure
I have.
that's one of. Wait,
God, I'm gonna try it right now. Look.
No, no, I'm joking.
absolutely not. There are very few
No,
people in the
no.
world who have done 6 blind successfully.
Somebody's
Or
done a
no,
9
who've even
blind,
tried.
right?
That's
Yeah,
Roman.
Roman. I mean, it's Roman.
I think
Roman
But
is
still.
like
Okay.
a god.
I think I could theoretically do a 6 blind. Like, I know the methods. It's just that it would be really time-consuming and unlikely to be successful.
You could
I mean,
theoretically
I could-
do anything blind.
I could. Yeah, that's exactly. What I'm-
Exactly.
I could theoretically do a 6x6 blind if I knew how to solve a 6x6 blindfolded.
Okay, no, but like I do know how to solve a 6x6 blindfolded. It's just that I haven't done it, and I probably wouldn't succeed. Like, okay, knowing how to do it and actually doing it are very far apart, you know?
That's
I
true.
would be king of the world if I was king of the world.
Got
Okay,
him.
fine.
Like, I know how to get a 3x3 world record. I just am not gonna get one.
Yeah. Alright, so that's some good rapid fire. Anyway, next, moving
Actually,
on to
rapid
Ava.
fire. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Alright, so Ava, Pyraminx, top first or V first?
I'm not really qualified to say, but
No,
Prob-
like, just
well,
what do you use?
for me, V first.
Nice. Alright, now, Allison, 2x2. Verasano or Ortega?
This is very controversial. We had Chris as a
Ortega.
guest. I
No
still
one
say
cares
Ortega.
because no one fast uses it.
I still say Ortega.
People would care if it were
because-
like fast.
Because it's common, like no one even knows what that is.
That's true.
Just use EG.
Wow, we are so good at rapid fire. Okay.
I don't care which one you say, as long as you call the 2x2 Megaminx a Kibby Minx. Anyway, next question. So, Adam, feet, FRLB or U moves?
None of the above.
This rapid fire is not working out well because we're
Keep
literally...
go.
Alright, Derpy, Mega, Balance or Simon?
Who?
I know very little about either, so I'm gonna say Simon.
You use Balin probably.
Okay, probably his
I
balance.
use a
And
method.
it's
I use a
Westland.
method that I made up, so I don't know.
I don't know the name, so I'm probably gonna go with Balin based on Ava's suggestion.
Yeah, you probably do. Most people do.
Alright, square one. Anyone want to try Rue?
Oh,
That's for
God.
you, Ava.
No.
You or anyone.
Oh
No.
god,
No
why are
thanks.
all these?
Alright. And finally, Allison Lee, 6x6 versus 7x7.
6x6.
See, I don't do either of these things, but my 7x7 is better than my 6x6, so 7x7.
A completely hardware-based answer. I love it.
Yes.
Good. The hardware is better though.
Yeah, I have
True,
I
true.
have a Wuji for 7x7, but I still have a Yushin Red that I haven't set up for 6x6. So
Let's get a Wuhua.
The Wuji's still better than the Wuhua.
No, it's like 3x3 or 2x2. Well, I have a Rubik's brand for 3x3 and a cubicle Waypo for 2x2, so 2x2 is the better event.
hey,
Well
but
said.
I don't like 6x6 and 7x7 are like the same thing in my mind.
They're
Yes,
very
I
different.
don't do either.
Alright, so that's the end of that question. Now for the next question from Andrew Tyberg. He says, very disgruntledly, no cubing in the news? And
No.
actually, this brings me to a point that I would like to make. So apparently, cubing in the news cannot survive without me. So I was not in the last episode,
Yes.
so there was no cubing
So
in
what
the
happened
news.
was, I think is that the one where we ran really late and we were all just really tired?
Yeah,
That's
basically.
exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
It ran. I think we were recording until like
11.
10:30 or like 11, and we're just
Oh,
like,
man.
we're so done. We can't even. We're like delirious at that point. So we're
There
just
was
like,
it was like a school
Plus, it was really
night.
long.
It was a school
yeah,
night too.
it was
yeah.
like a school night
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is it? Like,
Yeah.
come
So
on.
we.
And it was already really long.
To make up for it, though, we do have cubing in the news this time, so hopefully you enjoy that when we get to it. Alright, so thanks to everybody for the questions. We didn't really get that many, but I think that's kind of our fault because the episode went up kind of late. But, ask a lot of questions this time for our guest who will be announced later, because we like questions a lot.
Questions are good.
But anyway, so that's going to wrap up the Q&A, and now we're going to be moving on to our Journal of Cubing Science discussion, featuring the one and only Adam Vetzer. So you can take it
Or
away.
the Rubik's
That's me.
Cubed.
Hello. Okay, so
Hello.
we're having this discussion for a few reasons. We needed something to refresh sort of like the normal cycle of segments that we do. And also, we all felt like that a discussion is something we haven't done in a while, and oftentimes it's interesting when the topic is right. And so I suggested maybe like talking about some ideas that we have as far as like progressing cubing and maybe videos and stuff. So today we're going to discuss an idea that I came up with. I'm interested in research as it pertains to science and biology and stuff like that. And as I've been taking more advanced research classes, I've gotten more and more ideas for research relating to cubing topics in particular. And so recently I've been very motivated to do research on these sort of things. I'm actually working on doing my statistical analysis for my first project as far as like cubing research. But I want to discuss this idea and hopefully get the ball rolling on this for more people than just me. So the idea of like the quote-unquote journal of cubing science is for people to write and talk about ideas they have for cubing and share these ideas, have a way to share these ideas with other people, maybe progress the community in some sort of way and get new ideas out there to different people. And so maybe this would be a monthly or a bi-monthly thing where we would put together a bunch of these different papers that would pentamonthly that would say all these really interesting things about cubing, show different research, and a perfect example is what we discussed before about the TPS. We could theoretically come up with the fastest human time if we combine what we can figure out from TPS and solve efficiency. And it's stuff like that that's like really interesting and new ideas to push
Whether
the
you're
community.
color neutral or not.
Yeah, sure, stuff like that. Yeah, to push the community forward. So yeah, so we're gonna discuss that.
Does
a little
music
bit,
affect
and
cubing?
Hopefully, you guys
Oh
can
my
come up with some
God.
ideas and work on them for like the first journal to come out this summer. Okay, so now we're going to discuss that idea a little bit. What do you guys think are some things that we could potentially look into as far as that?
Cubicle labs.
What about the cubicle labs?
They could do better things.
Yeah, no, like, really, we could come up with more ideas that could be developed by the cubicle labs, and I think the cubicle labs are like the first manifestation of this idea of like cubing innovation, and I love the cubicle labs.
Yeah, so I was actually like about to mention that, like not necessarily like ideas for cubicle labs, just in terms of like a discussion of how far advancement can go, I guess, on in cubing. I don't know. Like more of a broader idea, not necessarily like an idea for what the cubicle labs could do. I just thought it's like a cool thing that like it's actually happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting.
It is, and you know, I fielded a question about this before in a Q&A recently, and they said like, do you think 3x3s? This is a common question, but I always like it whenever it comes up. When do you think do you think 3x3s will improve? Right? Because it always seems like we reach this level and it's like, oh, there's no way they can improve, right? And I always say the same answer. There's no way of knowing what comes next to improve 3x3s. And maybe we reached a limit mechanism-wise, but I realized something recently, that this stuff with like the boron stuff and developments, and as well as like the magnetization, has improved 3x3s to a point where getting a boron treated and magnetized 3x3 can improve times or like the solving experience.
Yeah. It's
So
like the
there you
equivalent-
go.
I mean,
that's
this is
that's
like
improvement for
technology
3x3s.
that
We
can-
didn't even see it coming. You know?
It's like compared to somebody who would be cubing 6 years ago. That's like a spaceship being compared to a sailboat.
USS Enterprise
It's
to
like,
a
oh.
sailboat. Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, this thing is amazing. This feels amazing. How did you even make this? You know, I'm pretty sure in another 5 or 6 years, there's just gonna be something like frictionless 3x3s, and it's like, whoa, oh my god, air levitating, whoa. Or something like that.
I just lost my train of thought, actually.
You did?
See, I don't even know if that would be a good thing though. Frictionless 3x3s, like
yeah,
That's
it
not
would,
theoretically
it would be like
possible.
having a cube loosened to the max.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can
So
control it.
Allison, do you have your train of thought back, or
Oh
can I
yeah,
go?
in terms of like in the motivation thing, like I have a prime example of this, which I'm gonna include in a future video as well, because I'm gonna talk a little bit about like some of the advancements in a future video. But just like this example that I've had really recently is what happened was I received this magnetized 5x5 from Chris Tran, and it also has their like Teflon lubricant, which if you don't know how that works, it's basically like they have I don't want to like simple explanation is they have like very tiny particles of Teflon that they have very low friction when they rub against each other, so they get into like the imperfections of the plastic, and then that makes it like really really fast and smooth and stuff. So I got this new 5x5, and it was like I think a week and a half before Red Cross, and Red Cross had 5x5, and I was averaging like 225 on 5x5, like something like that. And at Red Cross, by the time I got to Red Cross, I wasn't even signed up for 5x5, but they were like, since I was signed up for the competition, they could push me into 5x5. And I went from averaging like 225 to getting a 145 official average just because I got this new 5x5.
Wow.
So it was like,
Hold on, let me calculate the
it was
percentage.
like some craziness.
of that.
I mean, to be fair, you practiced a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
after
But
you
like
got
that's
the
also
5x5.
due to the fact that because like it's that motivating to solve.
Yeah,
all
I
these
get that.
really
I'm just
good.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
like
a
it's-
combination of how it's motivating to solve and it's good.
I just wanted to mention, backtrack a little bit. That's a great point, Allison. And it's those like things in the beginning that we don't see coming that become the improvement that we thought was not possible. So if you take a look at the magnets again, when the magnets first came out, everybody was like, magnets, and it was like stressed that these magnets are just for like the feeling of the cube. They won't improve your times if you buy it, whatever. But now look at it. Like if you can get a magnetized boron cube, it can improve your times. Like there's the improvement that in 3x3s that we didn't see coming.
And like now, even for people now, like it feels weird not to have magnets in a cube. Like you legitimately, especially for like, I know I feel it, and I think Ava mentioned that she feels it too. Like where we get a cube and it feels like it needs magnets. Like yeah.
Yeah, I haven't completely hopped on the magnet bandwagon yet, just because I don't have many magnetic cubes. But like I definitely agree that they're really good, and I just feel like cubes in general are getting better. And like, see, like you mentioned about your 5x5 experience. I had like a less drastic experience on 4x4 recently, but it is still something, and I can guarantee that it has nothing to do with that I practiced 4x4 more. So basically, I was using the Aosu since like 2014. And I averaged like 55 seconds on it for the longest time. I got a Wu Chui. I loosened it like a couple screw turns, and then immediately averaged sub 50. Like
Wow.
after a single solve. So
It's so weird
like-
how
Really?
hardware is still drastically improving.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Pretty
I had my Yushin 6x6 as my only functional 6x6 for ages. Not literally, but it felt like it. And then just a couple days ago, I ordered a Wuhua, and I am practicing 6x6 so much, and my times have improved so
Yeah.
much.
That's exactly my experience with the.
Wait, I'm assuming you received the Wuhua, right? Because you just said you ordered it.
No, he ordered it, and now he's like practicing with an invisible 6x6.
Yeah, it's made out of antimatter.
I should get one of those.
An antimatter cube? That's impossible.
Oh, I mean a Wuhua. I'm still
Oh.
using my Yushin.
Oh yeah. By the way, when Allison was talking about her averaging 225 and then dropping down to a 145 official average at Red Cross, because of the hardware improvement, that is a 28% decrease / increase, whatever you call it, in times, which is almost a third of her
That's
times just being
crazy.
cut off.
Yeah, it
That
is
is
like it was
insane.
ridiculous. Like as soon as I received it, I started solving, and I was like just over 2 still, but then I solved like a little bit more, and I was getting like 150 averages, and stuff like that. And then I went into competition, and I was able to get a 145, and I was like, "This
That is
pretty
crazy.
crazy."
Yeah.
See, like what they used to say about it's the cuber, not the cube.
Yes,
That doesn't apply
Sometimes
so much anymore.
it's the cube.
Yeah.
To a degree,
That's the
it's-
equivalent of averaging 12.5 seconds on 3x3 and immediately dropping down to 9 seconds.
Whoa,
Wow.
that is
I
crazy.
mean, it's easier to improve when it's slower, so it's probably more like you want to like
course.
calculate with first starting out averaging like 50 on 3x3 probably, but well
Sure.
maybe not 50.
I don't know
but,
if I agree with that.
Like
It's still the same percentage decrease.
yeah. I
But the
guess,
difficulty
Probably not
level
direct.
between the solve times are a
Yeah,
lot different when it
yeah,
becomes
it's a
like
lot
that.
different.
Yeah.
It's not really the same thing. But it's
So
an
I
interesting
I would-
statistic.
But mathematically, it is
yes,
the same thing.
mathematically
Yeah.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
So this is the opportunity for those viewers listening and And if you've ever had an idea, whether to talk about something that you're interested in or to make something cubing related, this is your opportunity to express that idea, make it yours, and try to make it happen so that it's viewed by other people that can possibly get the job done, if you don't have the means to do it. I know I have ideas like that for modifications, and I just don't know how to build them. And you need to, outreach somehow and show your ideas to other people in order to get that done, and this is an opportunity to do that. So I haven't determined an exact way that I'm going to run this, but it's basically a peer-reviewed paper. So a group of people or myself that'll have to be determined, get to pick this individual papers, as long as they're serious and have some relevance, that go into this journal, I guess, if you want to call it, and then we'll make it available to the public so that they can read it, maybe comment on ideas or whatever. But if you're not sure about an idea or something, feel free to send me an email or comment on one of my videos. I love to talk about ideas like this with anybody. So don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, I feel like this community, there's something interesting, especially recently, that can almost serve as an example for, I don't know, people in general. Because look at us, we started as this community of people who developed from this toy that a Hungarian professor invented, and this entire community expanded from it, and now there are it's this group of nerds working on putting crazy things and putting chemistry into what essentially started as a toy. So it just shows that if you have ideas, there's nothing too crazy and there's nothing too out there. I don't know. It's pretty weird to think about.
What
and it's
once
really cool.
was a toy grew to be a toy.
Science experiment.
It's
The
still
Rubik's
A
a toy.
toy with science experiments on it.
Like I mentioned earlier, the Rubik's Cube is more than just a hobby. It's a party trick.
Dude, that would make for a great college humor video. I did my math calculations due to the relativity theorem, and I found out that Allison, from her official PB single, in her incomplete average at New York City, was a 206, and she got a 138, 130, I think 135.8, and she literally cut down a fourth of her PB.
Dang.
So,
That's insane.
And that
Which
was
is cool.
in, I think, no, it was more than a month. But I didn't get the 5x5 until a week or two before.
Also,
Wait, you got was the original single at New York City the March 11th competition?
Yeah, it was the New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. That is legit a month and a week apart.
Yeah, and I didn't get the 5x5 until I think 2 weeks or something like that before.
Dang.
class.
That is crazy.
But you also improved your average by infinity times because you never had one before.
Yeah, I didn't have one before because I couldn't make the 2-minute cutoff before because I wasn't fast enough.
See, what I find funny is that I tried the cube and I didn't even like it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, same. I didn't like it either.
Yeah. See, you know what I find funny? I feel like as you progress in cubing, you become less and less interested in hardware. I used to, when I started cubing, it was whoa, a new cube came out. This is so exciting. I have to get it. And we would always make fun of each other for using the Lingpo instead of the Dion and all sorts of different mains and stuff. Now
I was the
I've
most
noticed.
harassed about 2x2.
Yeah, with your Fangshi or whatever.
Yeah.
See, now I've noticed we don't do that
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
we
just-
I don't
really
even know
care.
what your mains are.
Let me just point out something. Also, I've completely lost track of new puzzles. Let me just read off a few things.
Same.
YJ Yushi. What is
What the
that?
heck
What?
is that?
I have.
It's-
I
Wait,
have
what?
lost
Wait,
track
what is
of
that?
too. I have
Is that
lost
a
track
6x6?
of stuff.
It's 6x6 that just came out. And how about
What?
this?
What?
Wow.
How about this? I love this. Chi is coming out with came out with a Scube and a Pyramix, and they
Oh, I
call
have
it,
those.
It's called a Scube and a Pyramix.
No, legitimately, I received the Scube and I received the Pyraminx, and I was looking everywhere on the box for a name, and all it said on the box was Scube and Pyraminx, and I was like, is that the name? Is there?
Wait,
there's no
Allison,
name for these Scube and
Did
Pyraminx.
you get those like a month ago?
I did get those a month ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
same.
this is called
Allison,
Chi Q
so-
Cheng A Scube and Chi Bing A Paraminx. I just think
Wait, so Allison,
Dude, this is
Yeah.
evolving into a completely different, like, rank of
This-
the Volk and the Volk. And
the
A
Volk.
Scube. Wait, do you
A-
have
Wait,
a
so-
do you have a Scube? Do you have a Scube?
The
yeah, Allison. So basically, you have a Scube.
I have a Scube. Uh-huh.
wait,
like saying you have Chi
do you have
Wolfwalk.
do you have an Scube though or a B Scube? wait, this could be confusing because if you're asking if you have an A cube or a B cube, you could be like, wait, an A cube? You're like, no, an A B cube. It's like, oh, B cube? No, an A cube. It's like, that's the worst naming convention since the Yushin color system. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Okay, which is worse, the Yushin color system or the stupid Minx naming system?
Minx naming system.
True.
Yeah.
Binary
that too.
naming
Kibby
convention
Minx.
for the win.
That's you just really like casually just complimented yourself on that video you made.
Kibby Minx for life.
Oh my god.
I think that's so smart. I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you. I
No,
respect
I like
your
the I
opinion.
like the Kibby Minx thing.
Yeah, for those
I
of
like
you
it.
who don't know what we're talking about, DG essentially came up
Subscribe
with
to
a
DG
different
Cubes.
way to name the even layered megamixes because they don't really have a good way to refer to them. So if you haven't seen his video on the binary naming convention that he's talked about, then go see his video. But quick summary, like 2x2 is like a Kibby Minx, and
Instead of a killer.
instead of a kill, it's not a kill minx, and 4x4 I believe is a Gibby Minx.
No, 4x4 is Mebby
Mebby
Minx.
Minx.
6x6 is
6x6 is Gibby
Yeah.
Minx. Yeah.
Like imagine you lived your whole life, your whole cubing career with the 2x2 called the 2x2 cube, the 4x4 called the super 2x2 cube, and the 6x6 called the elite
Yeah,
super
it's
2x2
literally
cube.
like the
Yeah.
the naming system, like why?
You would have a bad time.
It-
You'd be
it's
like,
exactly
oh my
the
god,
same
I
thing.
got
It's like-
elite super 2x2 cube world record.
Elite Super 2x2.
Yeah,
It's like, why
guys,
was it-
I have the royal 2x2.
The Emperor 2x2.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's like the master 2x2 and the grandmaster 2x2 and the ultimate grandmaster.
What about the
2x2.
What about the 22x22? Hyper
Oh my
extreme
God.
ultra
Hyper
grandmaster
extreme
emperor.
ultra
2x2.
grandmaster.
Look, I am your
Emperor
father
2x2.
2x2.
We just came up with like
Yeah.
30 different names in like 3 seconds.
You
for-
can see, yeah, you can see why this is an issue with naming megamixes. So
Yeah. See, like,
Yeah.
I got a lot of supportive comments on that video, but I also got a lot of comments where people are like, "Who cares? No one cares." You know, like, but you know, there are a decent amount of people who care and who agree with me, and I think it's a
I mean,
decent naming
I don't
scheme.
think it should matter.
It probably won't catch on, but I really want it to.
yes.
I don't think it should matter if anyone cares. Like,
Yeah.
like I
It's-
don't see the point in commenting. No one
Wait,
cares. Like,
so you don't care that people don't care?
yeah. Oh my god. oh.
Oh my god, roasted.
Yeah, see, honestly, like,
Paradox.
it always bothers me. That's a pet peeve of mine when people say either no one or everyone about something, because they're always wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or almost
Yeah.
always, right?
Yeah.
I just did it there. They're almost always wrong. Because, like, like, if you think about it, if you're commenting on my video, that I made a video about something that I am passionate about, and you say no one cares,
That's
I
obviously
made an
not
entire
wrong.
video about
Yeah.
it. I think I care at least a little.
That's
Yeah.
that's
You know,
so
There's
true.
there's this one thing I love where it's every rule has an exception, including this one.
Oh man,
I like
that's
that.
trippy.
I like that a
Whoa,
lot.
That's
whoa,
trippy.
I
pretty
really
trippy.
like that.
That's really
Which is
trippy.
really cool. Right?
That's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool.
That's the title of the
I
episode
like
now.
that.
That's the
Either I
motto-
made that up or I
that's the
found that
motto of
somewhere.
our episode.
I think I actually made that up. Oops.
I really like that.
So think about this. So it's a multiple choice question, right? And it says, what is the probability that you guess this question correctly?
Oh my god.
A, 50%. B, 25%. C, 25%. D, 60%.
Oh god.
So think about it. It's like your first thought process is, okay, in a multiple choice question with 4 answers, there's a 25% chance that I guess it
This
correctly.
actually goes way deeper than basic mathematics. It's more like Schrodinger's cat
It
kind
is.
of thing.
And
Yeah.
so you're like, okay, the answer is 25. So you look at the answer choices, and B and C are both 25. So if you guessed either B or C, you'd be correct. So there's a 50% chance you could get it correct.
But if
Oh,
50 is the correct answer, then it's only a 25% chance.
None of those answers are the correct answer
It
because the correct
circles
answer
back
is
around.
100.
Yeah, so again, if
The correct
if it's a 50% chance, then A would be the answer. So there's only one answer, so it's 25, and so the whole problem cycles again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So why don't you just answer 100%?
You know, someone today was talking about the Schrodinger's cat in tests.
Schrodinger's
Like,
cat
where
is awesome.
you're about to get a test back, and you either failed it or you did really well.
But it exists.
And I was like, you actually like the Schrodinger's cat in tests, and he was like, yeah. It's better than actually getting it back and failing it.
Right, it's
And I was
like
oh god.
the point when you don't get it back, it exists both as a fail and a pass.
Yeah.
What if we did that in competitions where it's like we do like the
That is
PL,
me before every solve.
we do the PL on a solve and then make the judge look away, then I close my eyes, put a cube cover over it, stop the timer, and be like, do not lift this cover because it is both solved and unsolved at the same time.
That really is
That would
like
be
the basis
funny.
of quantum theory, though, right?
Quantum mechanics.
Whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Obviously, I don't know enough about it, but like in that moment
love
where
quantum
nobody
mechanics.
knows if the cube is solved or not under the cover,
Uh-huh.
it's in a quantum state of being solved and not solved at the same time.
Superpositioning.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. I love quantum mechanics. They are my jam.
Quantum mechanics are my jam.
Oh my
They
god.
just make sense. Like even though they don't, they just do. You know?
Wow.
That doesn't make sense.
Yup. Alright.
Exactly. Anyway,
know-
Cuban.
You know, quantum mechanics, they make sense, but they don't, but they do.
That's my summary of quantum mechanics. They make sense, but they really don't.
They're in a superposition of making sense and not making sense.
Oh my god! Oh, dude, somebody who has no idea what we're talking
Oh,
about.
Jesus
the podcast
Christ.
sucks.
This is really interesting in science in general. There are a lot of things that can't, when you observe it or measure it, they change. So there's no way to know, like, how, like, I'm going to give a basic example, how, like, wide or long they are. Because whenever you go to measure that, it changes.
Yeah,
I just
there's
think
this
it's
one
very
rule that I know this is getting way more like sciencey than maybe it was supposed to, but there's this one rule that I love and I just learned about it recently. It's the observer rule, I think, and it says that it is impossible to measure something without altering its state.
Right.
So a good example is changing, or actually I forget if this applies for everything or if it's a case that applies for only some things. But if you look at it like on a microscopic level, I think it happens with every single measurement you try to make. But a good example that's not microscopic is measuring the tire pressure in your car, because with that you have to let a little bit of air out, and then you don't even measure the initial amounts. You're measuring like that amount minus a little bit that was lost.
Right.
And on a quantum level, measuring something requires you to shine light on it to see it, and even if it's like shining light on it is a very microscopic, very tiny change, but it's still a change. So you're not measuring it at its initial state. Sorry if that didn't make sense.
No, I get it. It's really cool.
Anyway,
Alright, cubing!
Alright, so that's it for this segment. Let us know what you think. Definitely, if you have any ideas for Adam, you can leave them in the comments
Yes,
below
please.
or even email him, I guess.
Comments.
Somehow contact him.
Yes. So the comment section would be a great place for you to leave your ideas, like right in this video. And as long as the conversations are constructive and not like making fun of other people's intellect and ideas or whatever, then and keep it nice. But you could talk about that down in the comments, and we might even talk about it next episode.
All right, so that's about it for this segment. Now we are going to be moving on to everyone's favorite segment, or what do we call it? Festivity, cubing in the news.
Festivity.
Why are you
So,
calling it a... All right, go on. Never mind.
I love this
So if-
title. This title.
So if you'd like to follow along with us, definitely do so. There's a link in the show notes, which is linked in the description or wherever you're watching this. I don't know. You'll find them. The title of this article is Doing the Twist. Nick Napier gains confidence, relationships with Rubik's Cube smarts. So, I think we can probably all relate to this.
Oh, entirely.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
so anyway,
we
this is a decently sized article. So, I guess, do you want to each just, like, take a paragraph?
Let's do
And
Yeah.
we'll
two paragraphs at
popcorn
a
it?
time. The paragraphs are very small.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go host order. So I guess I'll start, and then
Yeah.
Derpy, you'll continue. Galesburg. Start with the cube. 3 stickered panels
Oh, God.
across. 3 down. 9 panels per
Oh, my
side.
God.
Oh, man.
Everything is scrambled. Red stickers next to green. Yellow and white
Oh, no.
mixed up. Blue and green and yellow jumbled. Never mention orange. The challenge is to make each side
What?
all
Oh my
one
god.
color.
We're off to a great
I-
start here.
Nick Napier, or Napier, was a
I'm saying
freshman...
Napier, like Napier's bones.
Okay, whatever. Nick Napier was a freshman in high school geometry class when he discovered the cubed puzzle that changed his life. I was finished with my work and I went over to a box of brain puzzles. Parentheses Lisa Wolf keeps in the room because it's very secret. It's very important that you keep her first name secret.
First
Yep.
name.
Said
This is-
going on.
Lisa Wolf.
Said Nick, now a 17-year-old junior at Galesburg High School.
I saw the Rubik's Cube sitting there and I picked it up and I tried it, he said. I was like any other kid. I really couldn't do much with it. I remember it was a big deal to complete one side. Nick found himself returning to the challenge of the Rubik's Cube.
I started to think there had to be some information about how to solve the cube, he said. And then I figured there had to be something on YouTube about it. Everything is on YouTube. So I started to do some research, aka plugging in how to solve a Rubik's Cube on the YouTube search bar.
Hey, that's very difficult.
Everything is
okay?
on YouTube. Everything is on
Such
YouTube.
Yeah,
research.
okay. To be
including
fair,
illegal stuff.
to be fair, that research is something that like half of the people on YouTube can't do. So
That's true.
you know.
In short order, the
Searching
teenager
things.
was down... Wait, what? In short order, the teenager was down the proverbial Rubik's rabbit hole.
Oh no.
2 years after finding the cube in Mrs. Wolf's classroom, Nick owns well over 100 twist puzzles and attends competitions in Dixon and just outside of Indianapolis.
Hey everyone, it's Derpy Cuber. Today I'm going to be showing you my twist puzzle collection.
When Nick started in competitions using the traditional 3x3 Rubik's Cube, he finished in 27 to 30 seconds. He did not finish in a particular time. He always finished in the range. He always finished 27 to 30 seconds.
It was like Schrodinger's cat. You were never completely certain. And that's what ties us all together.
Yes.
We're not actually doing cubing in the news. We're still doing the segment of talking.
Imagine if competitions just recorded your times in a range.
Oh my god.
Like, yes, I just got an 8 to 10.
Dude, and no, you know what would be even worse? If people just like counted with their heads. Like no stagnant, no
One
no
Mississippi,
watch, no phone.
2 Mississippi, and then like
then-
instead
and
of
then
having
there are those
decimal
really
points, you
annoying
have like
people.
8-point Mississippi.
Yeah, you have those really annoying people who count seconds like you know like 1/4 of what they actually are. So like
Yeah, I hate that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm like, no, that's not seconds. Those
Yeah.
are not. Those are nowhere near seconds.
Yeah, see, instead of decimal points, you write out the syllables of Mississippi, and that's the decimal points of your time.
You know how like sometimes you come back from a solve and you're like, I just had a really bad judge? In this case, if you had a really bad judge, you would have like a 25 or something if you average like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you have a really good judge, you would end up with like a 3.
You would have a world record.
I know what they were trying to say here. Like in his 5 solves, he averaged somewhere around like 27 or 30.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
language here is what makes it confusing. He finished.
He
like-
finished it in
like
27 to
the
30
one
seconds.
solve he finished in 27 to 30 seconds. It wasn't just
Yeah.
27,
Yeah.
not 28, not 29,
I-
not 30.
I'm
27 to 30.
I'm imagining that he was doing a solve like on his phone timer, and then around 25 seconds he was on like I don't know,
last layer or PLL, and then his phone dies, and then
Yeah.
he finishes it, and he's like, I mean, it was around 27 to 30, so yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me continue.
All right.
Oh wait,
continue.
can I just say something? Speaking of phone timers,
Okay.
this is relatively unrelated, but I saw a video recently of somebody who was cubing. It was like a video of some solves, which first of all, solve videos are really boring no matter what. And second of all, they, instead of recording themselves solving the cube, they screen captured their phone timer, and that's
Wait, like no cube?
it. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my
It was
god.
you could hear the cube.
You
You
could
could hear them like talking.
Oh no,
Oh no.
that's not good.
That
If-
is
if-
pretty tragic.
If the person who made that video happens to be watching this, I don't mean any offense to you, but I recommend you work on that. Because
Spend a
Yeah.
little time working on those.
it could be more interesting to watch.
It
Not gonna lie.
could.
Yes.
Okay, Adam, continue.
In his last competition, he logged a time of just over 16 seconds. Recently, Nick dropped his time to 9.3 seconds.
I like how as the article progresses, they get more and more like precise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Like they have a range of 3 seconds, then they have a range of 1 second.
1 second.
And
then
now it's like
a
Now
tenth
it's
of a
one
second.
decimal point.
yeah. Beyond competition and times, a few twists of the cube show a once shy kid who didn't really have a hobby, but found a passion and a way to teach others. Wait,
A way to
this
reach
is
others.
weird. Wait.
Reach.
Reach others. Beyond competition and times, a few twists of the cube show a once shy kid who didn't really have a hobby, but
Wait.
found
This is
a
not a-
passion
this is
and
not
a
a
way
Wait,
to
that's not a
This is not-
sentence.
I don't know. I don't think this is grammatically correct at all.
Let me rephrase it. A few twists of the cube, but found a passion.
I think the but is extra. I think if it would beyond competition
Yeah.
would have a few twists of the cube show a once shy kid who didn't really have a hobby, a passion.
I think
Yeah,
I think
a
that's
passion
Wait.
and a way to teach others.
I think
think-
they just need to overhaul this sentence. It's just like wrong.
It's
I think they should-
really bad.
after hobby they should add a period and then make the second part an actual sentence.
I might say beyond competition and beyond competitions, a few twists of the cube show a once shy kid
It
who didn't
just
really
doesn't
have
make
a hobby.
sense. Like, where does the beyond competition and times thing? Like, what beyond what? Like, why? Like what are you
Yeah,
going
I don't
beyond
know.
to?
Oh, here's how
He means like relation.
Yes.
here's how I would do it. Ready? Here's how I would do it.
Oh, I see what you
Beyond-
mean. I see what you mean.
Beyond competition and times, a few twists of the cube show a once shy kid who didn't really have a hobby, parentheses, but found a passion, close parentheses, a way to reach others.
Yes,
Wait.
that's it. They just didn't. They just
Oh,
didn't.
That's what they're
They
saying.
didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't mark off the appositive.
Oh.
That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's still
I
horrible.
did not follow
That's
what
still
they
bad
were trying to
writing.
say.
It's
Yeah,
I thought
Split
they
it
were
into
bad
saying
no
two
matter
sentences.
how
found
you
a
try to
passion
adjust
and
that
a way.
sentence.
It's much better if you just put it
Yeah.
into two sentences, even with the appositive phrase, like the correct grammar usage on the punctuation usage on the appositive
Yeah.
phrase. Like it still doesn't flow nicely.
Yeah, it's just
We are all
it's bad
such
no
nerds.
matter how you try to. Yeah.
Yeah, why are we talking about this?
Because the
Bad.
article
Okay.
because the
alright,
article
alright,
is written so
alright.
poorly.
DG,
Cubing
you're
in the
next.
news.
DG.
All right. I was surprised. I figured my son was going through a fad, as they all do, you know. Said Cindy Napier. The availability of the videos, his ability to see other people solving the cubes in such fantastic times, really fueled his interest.
I watched Nick discover that he can see a fourth dimension. Oh my god! Hold on, wait. I need to get in touch with this guy because this guy
Nick
is
can
literally
see time?
Whoa.
You can see time?
Look,
This guy
to
can
any-
see
holy
time.
cr-
Oh my
Dude,
god.
that means he can at all times see where everything is in a room without even having to like look around.
To anybody out there
That,
who's
mean-
read,
that means when he walks into a room, he knows what's behind what.
to anybody who out there
Whoa.
who's read Slaughterhouse 5, Nick must be a Tralfamadorian. I'm just leaving it at that.
Oh my god. He has developed a kind of dimensional thinking.
Okay,
Hold up.
this guy means
The
3-dimensional thinking.
thing
Wait,
is,
wait,
not-
wait. It
there's
is.
no-
It's his mother, not just some guy.
I mean, sorry. Oh, wait. I thought it was his. Oh my god, how did I
guys,
accidentally,
how come,
like.
why is this reverting back
Okay,
to quantum
sorry.
physics every
His
other
mother.
sentence?
For some reason, I thought it was his father at first, and then I looked back and realized it was his mother. Okay, so.
Just when I thought we got away from quantum physics, it
Yeah.
mentions the fourth dimension.
This whole episode is connected.
There are 11
Quantum physics.
dimensions.
No,
Yeah,
this is
like
dimensions
his
in
mom.
a
His
dimen-
mom
universal
means like
theory.
3 dimensions. There's no 4th dimension to his thinking. He's thinking in 3 dimensions by using a cube. It's not.
Okay,
a
I mean,
fourth
like,
dimension.
In all honesty, it's just like I think it's just like a metaphor.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's just kind of
But, like,
it's a
It-
weird
it-
metaphor.
it is the incorrect dimension.
It is definitely.
Also,
the
I
incorrect
think now would be a good time to say, please, if Nick or Cindy are watching this,
Okay,
please
it's-
take no offense.
It's the article writer's
to
fault. I
this.
don't think it. Even
Yeah.
though that's like supposed to be a quote, like in general, the whole article is the writer's fault, not.
Yeah, Nick and,
Yeah.
Nick and Cindy, you
They didn't
are
do anything.
really, really not at fault. It is really
Yeah,
the
it-
writers of this article
the
that really
writer-
do not know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Ava.
Oh no,
Oh,
Derpy has
no.
another paragraph.
Oh. Nick is very conscious of the effect twist puzzles have on the way he sees the world. Now, because of his 4th dimensional thinking, I'm pretty sure seeing 4th
Yeah, I'm
dimensions.
pretty sure that. I think that was just used as a metaphor.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
no,
You just-
I am taking this.
No,
I am
this
taking
is
this
quantum
completely
physics.
literally.
This is quantum
No, I am
physics.
taking this completely literally. Technically, if you could see 4 dimensions, that really would change the way you see the world.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true.
It is true.
That's-
All right, then
so
maybe the
it's-
article's
it-
consistent.
It's consistently
okay, Ava,
inconsistent.
Ava, go.
I've learned to look at things through a different perspective. he said.
Exactly.
You look at a scrambled cube and you turn it a few times, but then you go in depth.
What?
You start. You start
Why
with,
did
how do
Ava
I
read
solve
that
this?
with such emotion? Ava, you read
You
that
start with
such
how-
inflection and emotion. You're like,
I like it.
I've learned to look
Oh
at
my
things through a different
God.
perspective, he said. You look at a scrambled cube, but then you turn it a few times. But then you go in depth. I'm like, whoa, that's more emotion than I've ever heard from Ava.
Keep going, Ava. I like the emotion.
Give me more, give me more, give me more.
You start with, how do I solve this? And soon you want to know how it works. Soon you want to test yourself against other puzzles.
Against other puzzles?
Daniel Goodman versus
Wait, guys.
the 4x4.
Epic rap battles of history. DG Cubes versus Flower Mix.
Cindy saw Nick's thinking change. She watched her introverted son mature and become a confident teenager. He kept twisting the cube. That was so random. Like, becoming a
kept
confident
twisting the
teenager.
cube.
He kept twisting the cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick has always loved physics. He loves the idea of engineering. What? I mean, those are related, but I don't know. That was kind of like jump subject. But he didn't
Those
have.
are related, but
Yeah, but he didn't have a niche. Niche? Wait,
Niche.
Whatever.
yeah. I was like, did I say that right? Yeah. But he didn't have a niche. The thing he is good at.
Then the cube came along, and he found his way to interact. It's not just at competitions where he meets a wide variety of all kinds of people.
What?
I think that's
Wait, what?
redundant.
That's very.
Amos-
A
Amos
wide variety of
sneeze or
all
laugh?
kinds
That
of
is
people.
repetitive.
What?
A huge amount of a wide variety of all kinds of people.
It's really hard to communicate with people when you're a constantly morphing 4th dimensional monster.
You already know what they're gonna say, so it's kind of tough to hold a conversation, you know.
I'm just gonna repeat that we mean no offense to Nick's mother.
Yeah. I think they probably misquoted some of this, or
Yeah.
were just like misreading
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
badly. It probably sounds better when you're actually saying
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
for sure.
I think Nick is really willing to share what he knows about the cube. For Nick, the social aspects of the Rubik's Cube and twist puzzles almost eclipse the thrill of finishing with a fast time.
I'm the cube guy or whatever, he said.
Wow.
It's cool because I whenever I see or whatever at the end of a sentence, I always want to read it like that.
Yeah, you have a
it's
point.
Not, it's not you, Nick. I just like doing that. It's cool because other kids are interested, and I can show them what I know. It's really fun to watch someone else working through the cube and figuring things out.
Alright. Nick's teacher noticed the teacher's... Oh, sorry.
Teach-
Sorry, my bad. I'll start over. Nick's teacher noticed the teenager's maturation. I don't
read that as
know.
mutation for a second there. I
I
was like,
don't. I mean, it looks like it could be a word, but it really doesn't look like it.
What?
No, maturation.
Maturation. Maturation's a word.
Yeah, that's a
yes.
word.
Is that a word? Okay.
It's kind of a weird word, but yeah, maturation, yeah.
Okay. He does love to show people what he can do. It's fun to watch other kids watch him, Lisa Wolf said. They are always amazed. He has wanted so badly to teach me how to solve the 3x3, but unfortunately, I have not been his best student.
Interesting.
Okay. Why did that get sad all of a sudden? I get it.
I do think that he has made connections with kids that he might not have had. Wait, he might not have had been for his cubing.
Wait.
Okay. Sorry. Wait.
No,
I think that's right.
He might have not had. Wait, no. Wait, what? He might
Have
not
had.
have had it not.
What
been
is
for-
going on?
He
Wait.
might not have had whomst to do.
That's just an awkward
Instead of-
sentence. I do think.
Yank.
It sounds better when you say it out loud, but like when you write it out, it's hard to read.
That he
Yeah.
might not have had it.
Had it not been for.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of. There's two. Okay.
Right.
Nick offered one last twist. He made an important connection with his teacher at one of the most challenging times of his life.
Mr. Parentheses Brett Wolf is one of my teachers too, so I know both of them.
First names are not taboo to unparenthesize.
No, I think the reason it's like that is because he just says Mr. Wolf because like
Well,
it's his teacher.
then you should put it in brackets. That's the convention.
Oh,
So
yeah,
are
that's
they?
true. Okay. I found myself, so I know both of them, Nick said. I found myself going back and spending time in Mrs. Wolf's classroom. First, we started talking about the cubes and puzzles and stuff, and then I found I could talk with her. Wait, what? Okay.
Why is
Wait.
a relationship building?
Yeah, okay, so first we started talking about the cubes and puzzles and stuff, and then I found I could talk with her. My family's gone through a lot. Lots of people in families do. I can always talk with my mom, but sometimes you want to talk with someone who is outside all of it.
Nick wanted to make sure Lisa... Okay, now we're just going to talking about her as Lisa. It's not Mrs. Wolf anymore. It's Lisa. The relationship is developing. Nick wanted to make sure Lisa Wolf was recognized for her influence on his life. Oh, so that he's just being nice then. I don't know if I would have found the Rubik's Cube if it wasn't for Mrs. Wolf's class, he said. I can't imagine not doing this, not having these puzzles in my life.
Mrs. Wolf always encouraged me and told me I could do better. She's like a mentor, and I just really appreciate that. Tom Lowy. I don't know. I think his story is actually interesting.
I like the
yeah,
story.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was
I-
kind
this
of like
wasn't
me
the
too.
worst
It was
article.
poorly presented.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just really poorly
Yeah.
presented.
It wasn't
yeah,
the worst
that's what
article.
I
It
think.
was just like a very, very nice story, and I like what Nick was saying at the end. Like I like
Yeah.
that. He
Yeah, at
wanted
the
to
end was
share
really
that.
nice.
But
But-
at the same time, like the writing is not the best. It's not the worst we've seen, but it's not the best.
Yeah.
Nick, on the off chance that you're listening to this, your story is actually pretty cool. It's just that this news article, not gonna lie, they did not do the best job of presenting it.
Yeah.
No offense is meant to you at all. You seem like a cool guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
actually surprising how badly they can misconstrue a
It's just-
potentially good story.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just something weird about people reporting out cubing. They try to overcomplicate it so much with their wording. Like, especially like the first
Yeah.
2 paragraphs of this, everything is scrambled. Red stickers next to green. Like,
Yeah,
it's
this isn't an action movie sequence.
Yeah,
an
it's-
Yeah,
article.
it's not.
yeah.
Nobody's getting pumped up with adrenaline by hearing you talk about which sticker is next to which.
we always talk about how Vox does it best. The reason
Oh,
why
Vox does it
is
best.
because Vox just gave you the information, and contrary,
Yes.
this person who's writing this is probably in over their heads. Because this is like a really challenging job. You have to bridge the gap between somebody who has never heard of cubing before and cubers. And that's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
information to
very true.
cover in one article. And it's very difficult to do. So,
Vox is it's my favorite just information.
yeah, the Vox
channel.
video is great.
No, Vox in general, I love binge watching their videos.
Well, not
There's
not
so-
all of their videos recently, but
Really?
yeah,
well, let's just say
they're-
like the
they do a lot
non-political
of-
ones.
Yeah, all the non-political ones are really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The political ones are debatable.
I don't watch the political ones.
Yeah, I skipped the political ones, but the non-political ones are really fun. Like, are really good.
So that wraps up our segment of cubing in the news for this episode. If you happen to find any articles, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. Preferably really like funny articles, because we do get a lot of news articles and some of them are just like actually good cubing news reports. We don't want those. We want the worst of the worst.
Yeah,
so
we like
if you find anything bad,
if you need
yeah.
an example, go to our first episode of this podcast
Yes.
and our first cubing.
We
That is like
will
our
read.
yeah. I actually we have a real doozy for the next episode. Just saying, it's a pretty solid one. But in the
alright.
future we might need some more. So definitely leave some in the comments if you find any. Okay, so it's time to announce our next guest. So if I could have a drum roll. Chris Tran, also known as Humphrey Whittingtonsworth IV.
Correct.
So if you have any questions for any of us, make sure to leave them in the comments of this episode. We want a lot of questions because that's always a good thing. We need more. So make sure to do that. So that's about it for this one. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them down below, and that would be much appreciated. Like, share this video, and follow us on social media in order to be awesome, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
But he can drive an airplane faster than you.
Hey, I can drive too.
Not yet, silly boy.
Actually, I can. I just haven't yet.
Not yet, silly boy.
It's like Six Blind.
Theoretically, I could drive, but I choose not to.
Except one, it's really bad to close your eyes during.